Hi everyone, my name is Chris Robichaux and I'm one of the co-founders of BitRights, which is a digital content licensing and analytics platform that helps media companies and content creators do business with one another way more efficiently than they currently do today. So let's talk a little bit about the problem we're solving. Licensing and rights management for media companies and content creators alike is a cumbersome process. Over 95% of the creative enterprises that are in existence today have fewer than 10 employees, meaning they don't have the human resources to execute on their marketing, sales, compliance, administrative, and other types of functions the way that they'd like to. At the same time, 80% of the world's content has been created in the past 2 years. That means that content online is growing at an exponential rate and will continue to do so as we integrate the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence into our daily lives. So, what does that mean? It means that the media environment online today is very complex, and there's a lack of transparency and automation across the supply chain. So if you take a look at what we believe to be the big stakeholders in the industry today, you have creators, media companies, and consumers. And in large part, historically, they have done business manually, which means sending emails to one another, creating a paper contract that needs to be signed, sending a separate payment, transferring assets separately, tracking all this across multiple spreadsheets, and with teams of 20 to 30 licensing professionals or accountants. And this is kind of the old way of doing it. What we're suggesting is that BitRights can come into this equation and automate a lot of that back-end business type of activity. So in short, our licensing solution is enabled to simplify licensing, monetization, and compliance for media companies and content creators alike. We enable creators to promote, analyze, and also monetize their work all on one seamless platform, and we allow the media companies on the other end of that equation to quickly and legally source different content so that they can distribute it in real time to their consumers. This is where we believe the future of the media industries are going, and we're the software to help take it there. So why Broadway Tech Accelerator? This is an important question for us because really, we've looked at a lot of programs, and what stuck out to us about Broadway was that it's a strategic partnership, right? Because the Schubert organization as a whole can add a lot of value to our early stage company in the form of a pilot partnership. Really, that's what our go-to-market strategy has been, is to find a media organization that is willing to go on this journey with us to try and figure out what the future of the licensing industries will kind of look like. So in that stage, we have a strategic partnership. The financial interest is aligned with the Schubert organization and other parties involved, and access to really strong use cases. And I've highlighted a few of those here on the right side of the screen. I've talked specifically with a few people from your organization about this. So historical archives. I understand that Schubert has just gone through the process of digitizing a lot of their digital assets, a lot of their physical assets in the form of, to turn them into the form of digital assets. And we've talked with many people and many potential customers who would love to have a system like BitRights to help license out their digital assets. We have a ready-made platform for that, and we're excited to consider that as an opportunity. At the same time, show segmentation and licensing. So if you have a theater production, you can actually break it up into its separate parts. Who are the characters? What is the plot line? What restaurants are talked about in that show? And can you license that out to other people to actually generate new revenue for your company while maximizing the value of the actual theater production in a new way that maybe hadn't existed before? And last but not least is ticket sales distribution. We have a way on our platform of defining who should get what portion of a cash flow that comes in from any particular show's daily cash income. So basically, it's automating a lot of the back-end payment processes that would relate to a particular show's income for a particular day. Great. Here's a few screenshots from our product as it exists today. We have a content library that will be searchable, trackable, and organized, so you can kind of manage your content as it exists today in a more seamless fashion. Fast monetization, so we talked a little bit about automated payment splits, being able to buy and sell directly from the platform and receive payouts all on this software as it exists. And last but not least, custom licenses. So this is probably one of the biggest differentiators for our software, is that we allow you as the creator and the media company to do business the way that you want. You can set your own terms and conditions, from your own legal teams, you can set your own prices, and then you can save templates for faster use if you continue to monetize certain things in a certain way, making this process much more seamless. Our revenue model is simple. We will give the licensing software away for free, but monetize on transaction fees and then premium features such as data analytics that will be built into the platform as well that will be helpful for larger enterprises worried about their licensing business. How do they figure out what's going on with that? We've built a data analytics platform for it. The vision and market size. So the global licensing business is gigantic. It's $240 billion in revenues worldwide. But of course, as a startup, we need to focus somewhere. And so what we've done is focused on media organizations here in New York City. We feel as though if in the next year or 2 years, we can sign up 30 large media companies that will pay us $5,000 a month in terms of the transaction fees and subscription revenues that we talked about before. We can go for a $1.8 million beachhead market and grow that success into our vision, which is to be the standard licensing solution for all digital content as it exists across the internet. Plain and simply, we're the most flexible media agnostic licensing software on the market today. You can see some stalwarts of the licensing ecosystem here in the bottom left. Getty and Shutterstock are very rigid technologies. You can't change the terms and conditions that they provide you with. You actually have to surrender all of your exclusivity rights to them when you put your digital content on the platform, and we are kind of completely the opposite of that. We are empowering content creators to run their businesses the way that they would like to run them, and giving them the software that will allow them to do that from a business perspective. The other axis here is high or low customizability. It was what I just kind of talked about. Media agnostic is the second one. So the way that people are creating and consuming content today is multimedia in form. If you go onto a blog, there could be a video, some photos, and text. And we've created a software that can create that in a package and license that as one portion of a sale, as opposed to separately, which is kind of what the majority of the other solutions on this page show. So that's a little bit about how we differentiate. We have a few pilot programs going on. One with Playbill, which it should be pretty familiar to everybody. In that room that I'm pitching to today, Lucy, which is a music licensing agency that connects content creators with brands trying to make marketing programs, and Little Tree Farm Productions, which is a content and videography shop out of Connecticut. We also have 3 large media companies that I didn't list here for confidential reasons. We haven't landed the partnership yet, but that's the missing piece of what we're looking to achieve in the next 3 months before we achieve our timeline. So the next 3 months here is to conduct our pilot program with our select partners, and then really validate that this is the right solution for the licensing world, and then raise our seed round in September of 2019. So that's a little bit about our timeline, and our founding team is here. Charlie Hanna ran his own music licensing agency for 6 years, so he's intimately familiar with the challenges of licensing as a whole in the media businesses. I spent 6 years at Deloitte helping large Fortune 500 companies implement new software solutions into their existing complex technology environments, so I'm very familiar with how to use SaaS software to make businesses more efficient. And we came together and met at Columbia Business School to come up with this licensing compliance software, which is what exists today. Jerry Lynn is our technical advisor and has built out much of our back-end functionality and is still involved with our project today in many ways. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I look forward to meeting you all soon. Thanks.